Good morning. Sacred Scripture unveils the relationship between knowledge, faith, and reason. Wisdom literature interprets explicitly these connections. The authors in the Bible are pure manifestations that man desires for knowledge and seeks for truth, which then strengthened by faith. Faith and reason are mostly intertwined by their definitions and applications to human life. The role of faith in human life is to build bridges between heaven and earth and to sharpen the inner eye. In the book of Proverbs, the human mind plans the way, but the Lord directs the steps. With this, in the light of reason, man knows what path to take and otherwise. And in conclusion, both the latter and the former provides an end goal of man.
To continue with the discussion, we may now proceed to reason and its three basic rules. By reason, the Israel was able to discern as the chosen people of God and that in general, liberated them in vain. Hence, if reason were to be fully true to itself, then it must respect certain basic rules. First, it must realize that human knowledge is an endless journey. Second, reason must promote humility and not pride. Thirdly, it should be grounded in the fear of God as it transcends in all things. Hence, it is important to note that if man abandons these rules, he becomes fool that is incapable of seeing essential things nor acknowledge the existence of God and too limited to know the truth of everything.
The fourth objective is to put emphasis on the threat of sin to human reason. The human mind is able to perform a metaphysical inquiry. The apostle declared that whenever the eyes of the mind are open, man is able to know God. The sensory organs of man does not limit him to know beyond perceptible things, as God endowed him with reason, in which, according to the apostle, it was part of the original plan of the creation. In the book of Genesis, the disobedience of man separated him from God's providence. Our first parents chose to isolate themselves, set them apart from God. From this autonomous illusion that man can discern and live by his own, had wounded reason. According to the apostle, because of sin, he becomes empty and incapable to know the truth. Conclusion: reason becomes a prisoner to itself, and it can only be redeemed by the coming of Christ. And the letters of St. Paul reveals the opposition between the wisdom of this world and the wisdom of God through Jesus Christ. The death of Jesus Christ on the cross drives the mind to understand the meaning of existence. In relation with the latter, God is never foolish to forsake His own Son to die on the cross, but rather He wants to accomplish what is radically new. According to St. Paul, reason and the cross are co-principles of love, truth, and salvation. With this, it presents to us the wisdom of the cross that paves a way for the universality of the truth. The passion of Christ crucified and reason becomes the border of faith and philosophy, but also bridges the former and the latter in sake for truth. Reason and faith can correlate and cohere from each other.